Welcome to The Priority Shift, a podcast dedicated to focusing on your true priorities, both personal and professional, using the 80-20 method. I'm your host, Christina Walker. Let's dive in. Episode 42, Planning for PTO as a Manager. When I share with other managers that I took an almost 3-week vacation as a plant manager and went completely off the grid for my team, they usually tell me why that would never work for them. But here's the thing. If you feel like you can never do that, then how do you think you can ever get promoted again or take a job somewhere else? The key is to prepping your team for them to be successful while you are gone, and that takes a lot of pre-planning and forethought. This trip that I'm talking about was an anniversary trip with biking, a trip that I had been dreaming about since before my husband and I married, well before I became a plant manager. At the time, we couldn't afford financially or from a PTO standpoint to take this trip, so we made a plan to do it at the 5-year mark. We booked the trip in January 2020 to happen in August 2021. As we all know, the world took a nosedive in March of 2020, and then in November of 2020, I became a plant manager. But this vacation was already booked and pretty much paid for. I stepped into my role as a plant manager drowning, trying to figure out all the things that I didn't know. Our previous plant manager kept things pretty close to his chest, and the 1-week prep I received from him didn't answer all the questions that I didn't know to ask. I wanted something different for my own team, and from day one, I shared all the things of my own learning as I went along. My trip ended up moving to November of 2021 because it was a slow season in our facility, and I knew the week of Thanksgiving would be quiet and I wouldn't be missing so much. I kept prepping my entire team, and it really began in March, bringing them into the loop on a lot of issues and how I handled the problems as they arose. This way they could learn as I was learning. I let my sales team know that I was going to be out of office for a few weeks and that my team was capable, but if they felt they needed me, they needed to get their request in prior to me leaving. The month prior, I had sit-down meetings with all the key stakeholders to make sure that there was a plan in place for my absence. With my manager, I walked through all the things that she would need to sign off for while I was away, materials, bills, etc., and shared the chain of command. She also volunteered to come to the facility for a few days to give extra support. My direct reports, I made sure they knew where to go if they had issues and how to problem solve. My accounting team, I asked for additional grace while I was gone to help my team out if they had questions. I sent a coffee card to our accounting support for payroll. There was one payroll period that I would be missing, and I was always the double check for the facility to ensure time was reported correctly. It was critical for me that my entire team was paid correctly and no one missed a paycheck, and it was worth the dollars from me personally to show appreciation to her. I knew she would have done the extra work that day, double-checking everything already, and also to ensure that my team was taken care of. Of course, I didn't have to send her a gift card, but since she wasn't in the physical vicinity of me to pop a coffee on her desk, this was the next best idea. I told my team that they would not be able to reach me. I told them that I would not be bringing my laptop or my work phone with me on this trip, and they would have to figure it all out on their own. And they did. They did amazing. Order shipped, the team was paid on time, and the few items that fell through the cracks were the 20s anyways, and I fixed them upon my return. Actually, they were running so well that even the 2 days once I returned to the office, they had everything handled that I could sort through the million emails in my inbox. So here's my plea to you as a manager. Prep your team and take a real vacation. You need it, and so does your family. They need someone that is fully present and not being constantly pulled back into the work life. Thanks for listening, and make sure to leave us a 5-star review on your favorite listening platform. And share this with a friend, colleague, or manager. Find more info at PriorityShiftSolutions.com and reach out to Christina directly to get started with coaching and applying the 80-20 method.